going farther back, it just became a thing that you only had one rookie card to go with. And as you got an example of having different other rookie cards to collect, that was the fun thing, and now it's just overproduced with so many different products that I feel like it's hard to really determine what a true rookie is as far as certain sports.
How's it going, everyone? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Wax Talk with Raw Mints. I'm Carlos.
And I'm Bruce.
And today we're going to be talking about what is considered a true rookie card. What is considered the true rookie, and how can you determine what the true rookie is of a player? But before we get into that, as always, if you could please be sure to subscribe if you aren't already. Like, review, share with a friend. First thing every Monday, every week, once a week, we drop a new episode about all things sports cards and the hobby and our opinion on it. We've been getting a lot of feedback from a lot of people on Instagram. A lot of people are enjoying what we're talking about and our take on things, so it sounds like we're doing something right. Please continue to listen. We really appreciate your support of the podcast and going forward. So let's get into it, man.
Okay, so again, today's topic is going to be about what is considered a true rookie card. A lot of people have different opinions on this topic, such as we do. We just chose to dive into it because we like collecting rookie cards. So we thought it was important to kind of share that aspect, when people are looking as far as what is a true rookie card, what rookie card should I pick up from a different product, what year, and so on and so forth. The biggest thing is the comparison from the actual rookie year when somebody debuted as far as when they were drafted. The first instance, we'll talk about baseball. An example is 2017 Bowman. You have Ronald Acuña's first Bowman card, his first appearance on a Bowman card. Whereas 2018, where he actually got called up, that's considered his flagship rookie. We'll get a little bit more into that. But in comparison to what is a rookie card, starting off between when they actually debuted that year or when they were drafted is really just preference. For me, and what we'll talk about more as far as what we think is considered more of a true rookie card is maybe their first appearance on a card, whether it's licensed by Topps or Panini. That's kind of what we're getting into. So Carlos, as far as when you first started getting into the hobby, say you can think of any random player from whatever sport, what's the first type of rookie card you were going for that particular player?
Well, as far as modern goes, when I first got into it, I was going after Panini Donruss Optic and Panini Prism Basketball. And I was going after De'Aaron Fox at the time, and Devontae Graham and Jaren Jackson Jr. Those were all the three players that I really started building my PC around. But yeah, it was just Optic and Prism.
So we're talking 2017-18, 2018-19.
Yeah, 2017 for De'Aaron Fox, and 2018 for Jaren Jackson Jr. and Devontae Graham. Those were really like the beginning of my PC whenever I first started in the hobby. But yeah, I remember asking you when I was first getting into collecting what I should pick up, like as far as product goes. And I remember picking up a few Donovan Mitchell cards that I thought were rookie cards, and they were a year or two after his actual rookie year in 2017. And I remember texting you, and I was like, dang, dude, look at how much I got this for. It's so cheap. And I was like, why is it so cheap? And it's because it wasn't a rookie card.
Yeah, and you have all the different products. But you had the right idea because you focused on a player. You picked up some cards. I mean, initially, that was a big deal to you, and that's cool. I mean, I know you still like Donovan Mitchell.
For sure.
But when it comes to, you showed interest in basketball. So what it comes down to is it's like, okay, Prism, Optic, Select. I mean, those were the go-tos. Those still are the go-tos as far as, when we're talking strictly Panini licensed products with rookie cards in them. So going for those products, I mean, you're still chasing what we're talking about as far as true rookie cards. Basketball and football, you really have those particular, especially with Panini, you have those particular products that you're going for, and those have some of the true rookies. People don't seem to focus on what product came out first. It's kind of just like Prism, Optic, Select, like those are kind of the go-tos. And then you have, with the hobby explosion, you have pretty much rookies of any different product are a big deal, because you also have the parallels and certain cool cards like that. I mean, there's so many different rookie cards within these sets nowadays. But something that we wanted to focus on was just getting to the basic of a card. I mentioned Ronald Acuna, a 2017 Bowman and a 2018 Topps. You have the Series 2 short print, which is a little bit more valuable, and then the update rookie. I mean, those are just your basic paper. There's an abundance of them. Those are the basic root of what a rookie card is. So depending on preference, that could be your thing. It's the same thing with Tatis, where you have his 2016 Bowman draft or his 2019 Topps Series 2, which is a flagship rookie for him. It really just comes down to preference. Our opinion is just like a true rookie is kind of the first card that they have. That's kind of what we've gone with. And give a couple examples as far as soccer goes, what you think is considered a true rookie. We talked about stickers. What is it to you that makes a true rookie as far as a soccer card goes?
As far as soccer cards go, I would say it's very similar to baseball. As of late, there have been the Topps Now releases, which Topps Now is a service, I guess it's an online service that Topps provides that say that a young player makes their debut, or they are subbed in, or they start their first ever match as far as their professional career goes. Topps will capture that moment from that match, and they'll create a card around it. And to me, we're talking like within the last year or so that Topps started putting the rookie card logo, so the RC logo, that's what the RC stands for on cards. It's rookie card. They started putting that RC logo last summer on their Topps Now and their Topps Living Set releases for soccer.
And it's made these cards look a lot better. For people that like rookie cards, for us, we just like seeing that RC logo on a card.
Right. And I also think that it's made them more desirable, to be honest, because with the soccer card market, it still is very young in comparison to the other sports, especially compared to baseball and basketball cards. It's super young as far as the age of the hobby itself.
Yeah, and we're talking young as far as in the United States. It's such a growing sport. People catch more onto it.
I'm talking specifically about the card market. Stickers is a different story. Panini, the founding owners of Panini in Italy, they actually started the company with soccer stickers. So stickers have been around, as far as Panini goes, longer than cards have. So I'm just talking about the card market for modern soccer cards. The thing to kind of keep in mind with the soccer market is, to kind of finish my point on the RC logo on cards, is before they started doing that, it was very difficult to figure out which card was that player's rookie card, because there was no RC logos on them. For instance, if we're talking 2016 Panini Select Soccer, Christian Pulisic has his rookie card in there. So does Marcus Rashford.
Yep.
And if you look at any of those cards, they don't have the RC logo on them, but they are their true rookie cards. That's what kind of makes it confusing a little bit for the soccer market. You really have to know your stuff. Shout out to Sunday League Investors. They really do help with that. Follow them on Instagram if you're getting to the soccer card market. They really are helpful with showing you what their first rookie card was and their first rookie sticker was. But I think now with the RC logo being added, it makes things a lot easier as far as the cards go. But to me, to answer your question, sorry, that was long-winded.
That's all good.
To answer your question, what I consider a rookie card in the soccer market is whatever came out first. And usually, other than the example I gave with the Topps Now and the Topps Living Set cards, that those cards come out just at will throughout the year rather than coming out in product releases. Before that, I would consider the rookie sticker their true rookie release of a
Yeah,
player.
and we're talking photos of players, on a sticker, and they're incredibly young, sometimes under 18 years old. It's the same thing with baseball. It's just a really good comparison to make as far as getting to like true prospect type cards or first cards. I mean, again, like to us, that's more of what's considered a true rookie card.
Right, exactly. If you are in the soccer card market, if you're already into it, like us, we're pretty deep in the soccer card market. Or if you're brand new to it, there's three resources that I would suggest using when trying to find players' rookie cards or stickers. And the first one is cardboardconnection.com. If you search for a player on their site and you sort it by release date, usually you can narrow it down to the first few products that they ever appeared in. Another resource is, this mainly applies usually to more well-known players, like bigger players. They don't necessarily have to be the top players, but just players that people have a market for in the hobby, and that's psacard.com/pop. If you just search the player to find the population report of cards, the first year pops up of a player. It's sorted by alphabetical order, but at least you can narrow it down to what their rookie card year is. And that's, again, if they are a really popular player or somebody that has a following in the hobby. This isn't going to be very useful if they're brand new players, because there's not enough time for PSA for people to even figure out about them. It's just like the baseball market when it comes to prospecting and those first Bowmans. If they're not already a huge name, but they believe in them, they might just wait until they develop or get better before they send them into PSA. The third resource, as I mentioned before, is Sunday League Investors on Instagram. They have so much content on there when it comes to soccer cards and figuring out what their true rookie cards and true rookie stickers are. They're pretty honest about it, and they do a lot of research every week. So those are three really good resources.
And we recommend these resources if you have any interest in soccer, because it's a good approach, especially now is still a good time to get in. The way that we've looked at this is soccer in general, with Panini license growing as far as Prism and different products like that, they're still trying to find their way, or they were still trying to find their way as far as putting the RCs on, because we've talked about before, it's certain Prism products, you have RC logos on guys that are like in their mid 30s or
Right.
even older, and they're not really rookie cards. It just happens to be that they finally have made it in their club to be able to be featured on a card. That's something to note as far as that as well. And as they've grown, as soccer has grown, there's been more demand as far as how soccer companies have really shifted towards letting people know this is a rookie card. Like, people have been waiting for a long time. Like you said, with Panini being based in Italy, they've been ahead of the game as far as soccer goes. But as it continues to grow in the United States, it pushes it into a whole other level. I mean, people are waiting. People, other people that have been into other sports and collecting, that easily try to adapt to collecting soccer. I mean, because it's still a pretty broad market as far as getting into vintage. I feel like a lot of the vintage soccer is really untapped, as far as stickers go and stuff like that. You just don't see it. Are these collections of Pele and just a bunch of other greats, are they just sitting in closets in Italy right now?
Right. Let me pose this question to you. Earlier, you mentioned when it comes to basketball releases, as far as rookie cards go, you said they're not valued necessarily in the order of the release date. It's usually the top products that company releases, like your Prisms and your Optics and your Select. As far as you being, in the hobby your whole life, when collecting like early 90s, mid 90s basketball, which product would you consider a basketball player's rookie card? What would you say is the most sought after?
Going back on years, that really depends. Realistically, that'll bring us into our next subtopic of this, where how many rookie cards are there now for one player compared to back in the day? With all the different products that you have right now, we even mentioned Select, Prism, Optic. I mean, amongst all the other sets that come out during that same year. When you talk about basketball in particular, it'll bring me back to like 92, 93, where you have a Shaq rookie. So even back then, I don't know if you can compare, that to the ultra modern junk wax era, because I mean, it's still very highly sought after. But going back to like 92, 93, where I was still very young, and I have a lot of these Shaq rookies because of my grandpa, just continuing to collect and pick up different products. But you still had your Stadium Club, your Skybox, your Upper Deck, and so on and so on. These are individual companies at the time, premium products at the time. But like that in particular, I think of, an Upper Deck Shaq rookie, because there was the regular Shaq rookie in Series 1 where you could pull like a trade card or a redemption, I'm sorry, like a redemption, and you would send that in and you would get that card back. Whereas in Series 2 of that same set, you could still pull that Shaq rookie. It just had a different title on the top of it, So you like essentially you have three different cards that are real rookie cards, but you have like a short print, the trade card, and the regular card in the set, if that makes sense. But I just remember going back to that and thinking of that as a big card, and like looking at a Beckett price guide, like the prices reflected that. You saw how much, the same card in the set, went for a difference in value. That for basketball, it's just kind of more straightforward. You could find like Classic was a big like set as far as college stuff goes, but it just, the value was never there. So it's always been that same way where you kind of got to choose as far as preference goes as to what the rookie card is that's your favorite. With basketball and football, it's like it really hasn't ever been like what the first card is as it is with baseball, like a Bowman Chrome first auto, how big of a deal that is. There's always been those choices to make as far as what preference is, but to me, it just depends. I mean, like getting into, real quick, the following year you have Penny Hardaway. Finest was a premium product at the time, first year of Finest. I mean, that's a big deal. That pans out in the long run because it's the first year of Finest. Just like we look at with soccer, like the first year of Optic, even a Messi or Ronaldo, the value that could have, because that's the first product of that particular player. I mean, there's just different ways, dude. It's like, I just feel like I could go on and on about it, but it really just depends on what your preference is, and it depends on what the sport is you're picking up.
So, okay, when it comes to baseball, the first release is almost always Bowman, right? So you have your first Bowman. It doesn't have the RC logo on it, but first Bowman is considered the RC logo, in my opinion.
It's been that way for a while. I mean, it hasn't always been that way, but I mean, like, let's say, I don't know, mid 2000s, and later on you have where it actually says first Bowman card for baseball. Like, that's a true rookie to me. I mean, other
Right.
people will disagree with that, and that's fine, because at the same time, because I like rookie cards so much, I want the first Bowman of that player and whatever is considered their flagship nowadays, as far as their first Topps card or whatever. Like, that's
Right.
the collectability of that aspect is appealing to me.
How do you feel about both the football and basketball markets? How do you feel about the college draft picks rookie cards? Do you think that there's going to come a time where that becomes the quote unquote first Bowman of basketball and football? Because those are the first cards that are ever released for basketball players, is their basketball and football players, is the college draft picks of that year. Do you think that has the potential to kind of separate and become a bigger deal in the hobby?
Yeah, that's a great point to make, honestly. And to me, what that means is it just appeals to more people that follow more college basketball, college football, because I mean that's a big deal, And I mean for me, what I collect is like it's NBA, NFL. But I mean, there's more people that focus on that, and the more sponsorship that these players get, and the more licensing there is through Panini, I mean, it's gonna become a bigger deal. I know we've talked about that before, like for football or basketball. And that's where, like, if you're sitting on a bunch of like collegiate Prism basketball Zions and Jaws, and you obviously don't see the prices reflect compared to what the NBA Prism and Optic and everything do, you will see a price increase in that, because when it comes down to people focusing more on that kind of stuff, you're going to see the original stuff. It's in comparison to true rookie cards for me, if you're bringing this up, that with first Bowman baseball cards, realistically, it could be the same way as far as, college football and basketball go. That could be their first cards. That could take off. For me, that's not something I've necessarily gravitated towards, but again, it's everything is changing so much in the hobby that could be a thing, and I'll grow with it. And I don't know how I'll really feel about collecting it, but it's just one of those things that you just have to let it pan out and see what happens. I mean, do you see yourself focusing on picking up more collegiate Prism and draft picks football or Prism at all?
I think the biggest issue at hand really is these players aren't available to appear in products until a certain time in their college career. And I think the biggest issue that it faces with popularity is it's released in the same year that their NBA cards are going to get released anyways. Like if there is some sort of way, like maybe whenever players, if they start getting paid by their colleges to play sports, both basketball and football, I think there's a potential that they can, if they're star players through college, which again, they don't always pan out. You could be a huge college player and do nothing in the pros. But if there's a huge player like a Zion Williamson, these types of players that are good whenever they just start their college career, I think if there was maybe some sort of prospects release for these, like that comes out separate from their NBA rookie year, I think that might be a push, because if Panini had that idea, they would have done it already if they had the possibility. But if it does come down the road where you can pick up, say, a second call, like a sophomore year of a football player. Basketball is different because, with the one and done, you can play 1 year in college and then be eligible for the draft the next year. But as far as football goes, usually it takes like at least 2 or 3 years for a player to develop into an NFL prospect. But if you've got players like a Trevor Lawrence or a Joe Burrow, I mean, even Joe Burrow, he wasn't necessarily a top prospect in his college career until he was at LSU. But even like a Trevor Lawrence, he's been playing as a young player and starting for some time with Clemson. Could they have released in early college years of Trevor Lawrence as a release? It's just like prospecting with baseball, essentially. It usually takes some time for those first Bowmans to see a value or a demand increase, usually 2, 3, 4 years, sometimes 5, 6 years down the road from that first Bowman release. In my opinion, if I picked up a sophomore year or even a freshman year Trevor Lawrence prospect card, and then this year he gets drafted and he just becomes a huge player in the NFL and has a great career, I would probably want that freshman year Trevor Lawrence, because it's 4 years older, 3 or 4 years older than his first card came out. That's the kind of the debate you can have.
And that's the example to make with football and basketball, is you don't have that Bowman first, because you mentioned, a Bowman first card to even 6 years down the line. Who knows like how long it takes? I mean, for that card to really impact and that card to see some growth that way. You mentioned Trevor Lawrence. Really, when a product like Leaf comes out, you can pull, I think it's an on-card auto in a college uniform. But those kind of products have never really been considered like a true first rookie auto or anything like that. Whether or not that could grow, I'm not really trying to pick up Leaf or any of those types of sports. I just kind of wait it out and pick up what I can. Obviously now it's not really happening by the time that comes out for NFL. I mean, it's going to be hard to get Prism or Optic or Donruss, any of the base type sets at all. I mean, if things continue to go the way that they do, and that may stop. But just in comparison, like if you can land a Bowman hobby box, a Bowman blaster box when it comes out, whatever rookie cards you pull, or especially the prospects, the first Bowman cards, sleeve them, just put them away, forget about them, and then years down the line, or maybe it's sooner than that, I mean, those players get called up or there's hype built up around them, and you'll probably be having it. I feel like it's a safer gamble to pick up more baseball, just because you can have some of the basic cards and hold on to them long term, and they may turn out to be something. It's kind of a fun way to collect rookie cards, I think.
I agree. I think that Panini is doing a damn good job with marketing the college draft picks, basketball and football, because they've got some sick parallels, in my opinion. Like they have like those purple wave, like the ruby wave, pretty much very similar or the same parallels that their NBA Prism or their Prism cards or the NFL Prism cards will have once they release. And in my opinion, some of those, like especially the football releases as of late, some of those colors are fire, dude. Like they
Yeah, those
pop,
cards
dude.
pop, man. They
Like
definitely
the
do.
chrome finish with those colors is it's just nasty. It looks, I could see like some of those parallels that I like more than their pro cards, dude. Like there's a potential for that. They're doing a good job with marketing that. So there's not going to be any shortage of sick cards out there when it comes to draft picks.
Yeah, that's a good thing about if you're into rookie cards is there's so many different examples. Don't get us wrong, as far as like the many different products that there are some beautiful parallels to be had, especially if you're chasing a rainbow or whatever it may be, just picking up the base card, following up to the least serial numbered variant that there may be. And realistically, I mean, another thing that I want to touch base on, we've kind of already talked about all the different products, that there are rookie cards. And what, as far as football and basketball, what are the most desired products? We narrowed it down to, for the most part, Optic, Prism, and Select. You do have your national treasures. You do have like some really high end products that way. But as far as what we consider to be, the most premium value rookie cards, and I'm kind of going to stick away from what is now modern, like speaking of national treasures and flawless and stuff like that. One, because I don't have the money to buy these products, and if we did spend the money on these hobby boxes, we probably wouldn't get our money's worth, or pull a rookie card that we're trying to get. So going back just to the basics as far as the different products, what are considered true rookie cards, let's go with football. Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, they just have Topps rookie cards. Just sticking to the basics. Like you want to, from there, go to second and third year cards, which have some importance as well. You don't have as many different products. The farther you go back, I feel like you have less examples of different rookie cards. The only other example is compared to with baseball, sticking with a Bowman first card to a flagship card. You could go with like Barry Bonds, for example, where his rookie card is 1987, where you have a bunch of different rookies of him. You have Topps, Donruss, Fleer, so on, and then the parallels with Fleer. But you also have a 1986, which is an extended rookie card, which came out before 87. And again, it's like one of those things that do people consider that to be the true rookie? For me, it's like I like rookie cards so much that I feel like I just want to have, his 1986 Topps traded Fleer update, as well as his 1987 regular Fleer and his 1987 regular Topps. It's kind of just the fun of collecting rookie cards. I feel like that you have, going farther back, it just became a thing that you only had one rookie card to go with. And as you got an example of having different other rookie cards to collect, that was the fun thing. And now it's just overproduced with so many different products that I feel like it's hard to really determine what a true rookie is as far as certain sports. But I mean, that doesn't have to limit you to what you want to collect or what your favorite type of product is or photography or whatever.
So this week's Ask the Hobby question of the week, we asked our good friend Ogo Sports Cards, that's OGO_sports cards on Instagram. We asked him a question about the hobby. He's has an insane soccer collection, dude. Like he's one of my favorite collectors on IG when it comes to the soccer world. He's also got other really cool cards that he's picked up, but man, that guy's got some serious soccer slabs and lots of parallels, early release stuff. He's a really cool follow. But our question that we had for him was, as a huge collector and proponent of soccer cards, where do you see the soccer market going once we get closer to the World Cup 2022? And this was his response.
What's up, everybody? This is Ogo Sports Cards, and I'm here to answer your question. First off, I think that is an excellent question. Thank you very much for asking me. And I don't want to be naive to the fact that it's also heavily dependent on the health of the overall sports card market, right? So if basketball is the current driver for the card market, we're going to have basketball cards, football cards, baseball cards, etc. They all need to be healthy as well. So assuming that the overall sports card market is just as healthy next year as it is right now, then I think that the soccer market is going to go bananas during World Cup 2022. And that's going to be for a few reasons. One of them is that the World Cup has global viewership, and global viewership is exactly that. It's global. That means that the entire world is going to be watching. And for that time frame, soccer and the World Cup are going to have the most attention than any other sport. So I think people are underestimating the global viewership. I'm also thinking that people are underestimating that global card collecting is growing as well. So even though that card collecting is probably the most strongest here in the United States, there's also a lot of growth in the UK and Australia, and I think that we'll see more growth across the rest of the world as well. So not only do I think that people are underestimating the global viewership, but I think people also underestimate the strength of American patriotism. So we will strongly support whoever it is that's going to be the face of the United States men's national team. So currently that's Christian Pulisic, but it could be somebody else. It could be McKennie. It could be Reyna. It could be Sargent. It could be, somebody else. But at this time, it's going to be Christian as the face of the United States. He's going to be Captain America. So I think that when the World Cup comes around, we are going to strongly support whoever it is that's going to be the face of the United States. And when they score that first goal for the U.S. men's national team, everyone's going to go crazy for that. And as we all know, Pulisic is not entirely the the strongest player or the most talented player across all their leagues, but he is currently the best player for the United States. And I think that's going to have a huge impact. So not only do we have global viewership and American patriotism, but something else that's not commonly talked about, but I think will have a significant impact, is the Prism World Cup set that's going to be coming out next year along with that. I think that's going to be an insane release, and it's basically because the Prism World Cup set only comes out every 4 years, just like the World Cup does. So there's going to be a lot of younger prospects that people are hunting for right now that don't have that first World Cup Prism card yet. And so there's going to be a lot of people are looking for, a lot of players that people are going to be looking for next year within that set. Not only that, but it's Ronaldo and Messi's last World Cup. That's going to be a significant event for the soccer community, and I think it's going to have a downstream impact on the significance of their cards. So whether it's going to be the 2022 Prism having that significant impact for Ronaldo and Messi's last World Cup, but I think it's also going to revitalize a lot of cards for their first World Cup, along with the first Prism World Cup, which is the 2014. So we might see some increases with that 2014 first Prism set. So thank you again for asking me that question. To sum it up, I think that the soccer market is going to be bananas for the World Cup 2022. Okay, now to flip the script, I'm going to ask you guys a question, and my question is, when the World Cup does happen, do you think that you'll be supporting and investing more strongly for American players, or will you look to invest in whoever it is that is going to be the top performer for the World Cup?
Another solid response, man, and a really solid question, too.
Awesome.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, going back to the prime example that he made, it's really dependent on what happens with basketball, baseball, football. I mean, can the card market stay as strong with that? Because as we keep saying, even though soccer has exploded, it's really such a growing market. It's really going to be dependent on if the hobby stays as strong as it has for these other sports. There's no reason why soccer won't do the same. Do you think it's even a possibility that even if everything fell straight off, that soccer would be able to hold the top value? I mean, do you see that ever happening, being that it is one of the most, worldwide watched sports, like you said? I compare it to baseball. We always compare it to baseball because it's like the most international type sport, where there's just people from all over the world, especially, there's so much competition, so many players. I feel like we just see soccer growing in such a sense compared to baseball because it's just all around the world. Going back to World Cup, I mean, obviously when Prism comes out, Messi and Ronaldo, last cards, that's going to be a big deal. But going back to even true rookie cards, key rookie cards, these, I mean, you could have players in these sets that have never had a card before, and these might be cards to chase. For us, I know there'll be cards to chase even if we can't afford these products, which we'll be lucky if we get our hands on anything to open.
Right. He hit the nail on the head as far as the people underestimating the value of soccer. As Americans, we have the NBA, we have the NFL, we have the MLB. We have 3 other huge, massive sports that are also global, but those are all based here, dude. We have the NHL. Sorry,
Which is
Canada.
also growing, We've been trying to get
yeah.
into NHL, so I mean, it's definitely growing. But I mean, soccer is like the primary focus for us, I feel like.
Right. So we have those top 4 sports in our own country. So I think soccer has always just kind of been on the back burner as far as Americans go. A lot of that has to do with the fact that the U.S. men's national team has been garbage for years, dude. Like, there's no way around it. Not qualifying for the World Cup on occasions it's just not acceptable if you're a soccer fan. So I can understand why the viewership isn't in high demand here in the United States, but it is worldwide. It is global. He made a very, very good point of the global viewership in comparison to the other sports. But now we have very, very good players on the men's national team that are super young. That, okay, maybe this may not be the World Cup where the U.S. team, I hope it is because I love the U.S. men's national team. Maybe this isn't the World Cup that they go all the way and win it. I would be elated if they did, but I think they're too young now. I think the next World Cup, so 2026, I think it's going to be a very different story, dude, because all of these players, there's been so many U.S. men's players playing in Europe right now. They're developing farms for big clubs here in the U.S. for players. U.S. men's players are killing it, dude. The U.S. women have been dominating. That goes without saying. But as far as the men goes, we haven't been that strong. But we got, like you said, we got Pulisic, we got Reyna, Weston McKennie, Tyler Adams, Zach Steffen. We've got Tim Weah. We've got all of these players that are, Josh Sargent. We got all of these men's players that are playing in the top 5 Euro leagues in Europe, and they're killing it. They're starting it. They're not just like subs. They're starting, they're scoring goals, or they're assisting. We've always been huge proponents of the men's soccer players because we knew this was going to happen, right?
Yeah, coincidentally, it's all coming full circle, and I think one of the big examples that he was making is if things continue to go as strong with the market as far as other sports go, where somebody has a good game or whatever it may be, with soccer, it's going to be somebody gets a goal. I mean, if the market is as strong as it is, that person's card is going to be on fire. That's kind of where we see it going with soccer. Like every game, every game depicts how that person's value is going to be as far as the card market goes. If it stays as strong as it is, we see that happening. With the U.S. men's team, we hope to see that happen. We hope to see them do well in general. And at the same time, if a player has a good game, their market is going to reflect that.
To answer his question, I think we kind of already, with how strongly we feel about the men's national team and the moves that we made, we're sitting on a lot of U.S. men's, cards right now, and we have a lot of them out for grading. So I think that kind of answers the question. As far as who we're going to support, it's been a while since the U.S. has been in the World Cup, so we got to dust the rust off a little bit. But as far as the other players, bro, like we're both huge fans of soccer, so I have players that I'm going to be rooting for their country, dude. Cavani's my favorite player, so I'm going to be rooting for Uruguay.
Yeah.
Obviously Messi, Ronaldo, we're going to be rooting for Argentina and for Portugal. Who else would you root for? Belgium? KDB, Lukaku?
With soccer, I don't feel like it's going to be even particular teams that we're rooting for. It's just going to be players. You're mentioning players. I feel like it's going to come down to what players do we like. With Messi and Ronaldo, if it's their last card, sure, we're going to want to pick up, those cards, even the base cards. But just players that we like in general. And, staying with rookie cards, I mean, even if we don't know somebody in particular, if we notice they have a rookie card, whatever team it may be, we're probably going to try to pick it up, and just hold it, because it's a rookie card. But yeah, I mean, we're excited about it. We see the market, especially for soccer, growing bigger than ever in comparison to a lot of the other sports, and this is what drives us to pick up other older rookie cards of players. We're always shooting for picking up older Messi cards. And just these players in general, like the caliber that they hold in soccer, we feel will see more recognition. Their prices may reflect it, and if not, I mean, we're still picking up players that we like. I mean, soccer is an exciting sport to watch. We've been into it for a while now, and we're just trying to pick up the players that we like, focusing on players, not just teams. We're rooting for US, but at the same time, I mean Mo Salah is one of your favorite players to collect as well.
Right. And I mean, Egypt has never been a very strong team either, but at least they qualified for the World Cup, dude. And I'm going to be rooting for Mo Salah and Cavani all day, dude. I hope they go as far as they can. But again, like you said, we have so many players that we're invested in. I think this is going to be the most exciting World Cup I've ever watched, dude. And I've been watching since I was a kid.
With the market, I mean, and that's the biggest thing. Like, I hope that people that are into the hobby, even if it's because of the crazy market value right now, I hope that it encourages people more to get into sports, and to root for their teams, to root for the players that they enjoy watching, because that's really what it's about. I mean, that's what impacts the value as far as, the emotional value compared to the monetary value. Just being able to actually collect these players, even if they don't pan out right now, you have faith in them. I mean, just root for your team, root for your player. I mean, these are the cards to pick up right now.
And a quick pro tip to cap it all off: if you're hesitant about the soccer market, or if you don't know much about it and you're just kind of waiting it out, we don't suggest that. We suggest you getting in now. But if you want a little test run of what soccer is going to do in the World Cup, the Euros are about to begin very soon. The Euros are about to begin, and we're going to see a huge, I personally believe, in a few people, I know Ogo would probably agree with me, we're going to see a huge boom. I know Niam from NP Sports Cars 1 also agrees with us. Like, there's going to be a huge spike in not only soccer interest for the Euros, but the hobby is going to see a bump when it comes to soccer. And it's just going to be a small preview of what's going to happen with the World Cup. All right, so let's get into our pickups and flips of the week. What's your pickup of the week, man?
My pickup of the week is going to be an ungraded raw 2020-21 optic hollow to a rookie. Again, this is probably not optic is super tough to grade, like we've talked about before. This is probably not going to gem in any form. I have it in a magnetic right now. It's just a really cool looking card. Excited to see what happens with him. Not necessarily a Dolphins fan at all, but I mean, just trying to pick different quarterbacks or players of the draft is just, he's one that I'm kind of betting on right now. I think the trade value on this was like somewhere at $40 to $60. Traded some soccer cards. Realistically, shout out to Dylan on Instagram. He's Arizona_breaks. Heavy into baseball, super knowledgeable as far as baseball goes for as young as he is, but trying to get more into soccer. So I traded him a few soccer cards for this card. And I felt like he was getting a good deal as far as, getting some decent soccer cards to get him into soccer. And for me, I picked up a nice optic hollow card, so I'm happy about that.
Right, and it looks pretty clean too. My pickup of the week is going to have to be Population 1. So Pop 1, baby. We're about those rare cards. So it's a 2020 Topps Chrome Match Attacks. So this is the first year that Match Attacks had a Chrome release. 2020 Topps Chrome Match Attacks Mo Salah Refractor PSA 9. It's the only card that's been graded in existence as of today. It's the only one that's ever been graded. So I have that. I'm the owner of it. Huge Mo Salah fan.
And we're fans of Match Attacks, and the Chrome version of it, I mean, it just pops. Dude, it's a beautiful set.
Clean, dude. It's a different kind of refractor, bro. It just really is. But yeah, that's my pickup.
Design. It pops for sure.
What's your flip of the week, bro?
Flip of the week is going to be finally trying to get into some Pokemon. Picked up some graded Pokemon, was ripping evolutions, booster boxes before they skyrocketed. I did a deal with a friend, 3 cards. We had a Japanese Charizard, which is the Rocket set, the Dark Charizard. That was in a PSA 3, followed by a 99 Fossil First Edition Holo Raichu, PSA 6, as well as an Evolutions regular Holo Charizard. I sold all these cards. I want to say it was like 230 exactly. Probably could go for a little bit more, but at the same time, my friend is a true Pokemon collector. Tried to get him a good deal on it, and at the same time, I was picking up these cards before they really started to see a big increase. So for me, it's like making a profit as well as helping someone out that's trying to get back into Pokemon. There's a lot of childhood collectors of Pokemon, and just kind of trying to work out a deal. For me, it was a profit. For him, it's probably cards he's going to hold for a long time.
It's a nice flip, man. It's always nice whenever you can, supply somebody with something that they've been wanting to collect.
Yeah, and make a profit.
So my flip of the week is a 2008-2009 SP Authentic Russell Westbrook. This is the DS4. That's the card number. It's the Destination Stardom insert from SP Authentic. It was a BGS 9.5. I sold that for $130, and I picked that up for $55. So nice little flip. Russ has been going off like crazy this week, setting records with his triple doubles. I let go of it because I've got a stack of raw Russell Westbrook cards that I can send into PSA to replace it. I have probably about like 9 or 10 of this exact same card raw, prepped for grading. So figured I'd capitalize on the hype for him right now. I still think he's a long-term hold. I think he'll be in the Hall of Fame when it's all said and done, especially with his performances he's had. It's unfortunate he plays for the Wizards, but he's always been a beast. He's one of my players that I really like to PC. So
for sure, he's still racking up those stats too, man, for sure.
So those are our pickups and flips of the week. All right, man. So how do you feel about the episode? Do you think that we covered kind of the basics of what the true rookie card is when you're looking for them?
Yeah, I think the options are endless that way. It's preference, as always, like we always say, preference as far as what set you like to collect, the photography, everything, whatever means most to you. If that's the rookie card that you're going for, that's fine. When we cover what is a key rookie card, going from true to key, similar thing, but at the same time, key rookie card, true rookie card is just preference. Do you want for baseball, do you want a Topps flagship? Do you want a Bowman First? It's really what you want. If the price is within your budget, it's not a bad idea to hold, a copy of both. It really just comes down to preference. A rookie card is a rookie card at the end of the day. And for me, I like to collect a rookie card of each product if I can, and that completes kind of the circle for me. But at the end of the day, it's just collect what you like, as always.
As always, man. Yeah,
as always,
sure.
Collect what you like.
For sure. So we really do hope that you enjoyed today's podcast. We appreciate you listening week after week. We really enjoy talking cards. I feel like it's something that I really look forward to every week. Would you say?
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, we're trying to keep this hobby going in the most positive way as possible, and I'm thankful I have you along for the ride, that regardless of what you see as hot to flip or hot to hold on to for short term, I know that at the end of the day, you're still collecting what you like and you're going to hold those PC items long term. That's what we're keeping going.
I don't think people realize I'm cornering the market on Mo Salah, man. I'm picking up so many rare cards of his. I'm hyped about it.
If you got any Mo Salah cards, reach out to us. Carlos
for real,
would like to buy them.
Hit me up, dude. That's one player I'll drop anything. Him and Cavani, dude. Like I said, thank you again for listening week after week. If you know anybody that might be interested in learning about the hobby, or somebody that is in the hobby that would enjoy us talking about it, definitely reach out. Definitely share it with them. And the more people that we can, get involved with the podcast, the better. If you have any suggestions or questions that you wanted to ask us, just reach out to us and make sure to follow us on Instagram at Raw Mints. It's where we post our daily content, and we try to just keep everybody informed in the hobby, as well as showcase our personal collection and how we feel about it. This has been another episode of Wax Talk with Raw Mint. I'm Carlos.
And I'm Bruce.
Thank you for listening.